Okay, cool. What's up, YouTube? This is Big D and Shade.
Yo!
We are doing our monthly catch-up again. This is going to be for...
Just deep breaths, Big D. Deep breaths. It'll be okay.
This is going to be from March of 2015. This month, I've been learning the ways of the YouTube, so I haven't gotten much chance. I haven't gotten much time to watch a whole lot of shows, but I did watch a lot of stuff that Shade is watching, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him start first.
Alrighty. Top of my list I've been watching is Durarara, which finally Big D has caught up on.
Yes. I watched probably 25 plus the 7 or 8 that are out, so about 35 episodes almost.
You had some catching up to do, but it was well worth it, because good lord, there's some crazy stuff going on.
It was well worth it. So for all the characters, a lot of things carried over. Well, of course, they all carried over to the second season. The first season had a special episode 25, and that's when they introduced Izai's twin sisters.
I think I must have missed that one then, because I don't recall them introducing them right away.
Yeah, it was a silly episode, but they introduced the two sisters there, and I can't remember if they introduced a few other characters, but yeah,
those sisters are a trip.
Yeah,
they're a trip.
Oh man, they are funny. I kind of like the quieter one better. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I like her demeanor a lot better. But then again, most of the times that like spunky, just blah personality, it just annoys me to no end. So that's not too surprising.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't know who my favorite character is because everybody has good points and bad points. And one of the not the blind guy, but the Ryugamine?
I'm terrible with names, so.
Yeah, it's like basically the first guy that was narrating at the beginning of the first season.
You mean the main?
The one that moved to the city.
Oh yeah.
He's a lot sneakier than I remember. For some reason, I don't know. In the first season, they don't really I don't know. Like this season, they're kind of pushing that he's sneaky. So.
Well, I mean, he kind of has to be. I mean, basically in the first season, you can always tell he's one of those closet cases. He just kind of bunches up. He doesn't want to try to deal with anything. He's too shy. But the more things he's been doing, the more he's been involved in. And now it's like he has so many things he has to do that you're like, he has to be sneaky because he has no other way of doing these things. He's just not the type of outward person, so.
Yeah. And one thing, I don't know, I kind of feel like in the second season, they pointed it out. And I don't know, it's kind of like, I feel like they dumbed the character down a bit. I feel like in the first season, he was enough to fool me that I'm like, yeah, I know he's trying to hide who he is really, but in the second season, everybody knows what happens, but they kind of point out that like he likes this type of excitement, and then they like pan over to him and he's like grinning when something crazy is happening. And
see, I don't now see, there's the thing. That kid said that, but I don't recall seeing that.
Yeah.
Like, did you go back and watch it and see? Because I didn't go back and watch it and see. Because that one part, I think that kid was just imagining it. I think he just wanted to see that.
Yeah, because they didn't show it when when that crazy scene was happening. They didn't show it, but it for him.
I mean, it was on him the entire time.
Yeah, and when he pointed it out, that weird grin, I'm like, I don't know, it didn't match up to what Durarara is to me. I feel like, I don't know, it's like the second season, I can tell that it's most of some of the same people who made the first season were brought over because a lot of things stayed the same. But then you can also tell that they have new guys working on it too because some parts don't look as good as the other parts of the second season. And then as a whole, animation-wise, it's more detailed but less fluid. So it's still about the same level and quality. It's just the second season's different. So I don't know. I'm hoping like once they get into their groove.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got to figure. I mean, they're trying. To me, I guess they're trying to portray that these people, they've gone through their own experiences. They've had some crazy things happen, and they've grown. Yeah. Maybe not always in the best ways, but at least they've grown. Mm-hmm. So their personalities are going to change to at least ever so slightly in certain manners. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a little bit weird at first, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes and how it happens, but...
Yeah. Let's see. One guy makes me mad, which is that,
the new guy that came into town? Oh, you're talking about the father?
No, the son.
Really?
Yes.
Why does he make you mad?
Okay, so I'm going back and watching the whole thing, and something crazy happens, and Celti's all freaking out, and she's like, "Oh my god, blah blah blah." He's like, "Did you know?" He's like, "Yeah, I knew." I'm like, "Okay, well, yeah, he probably was hiding that because of blah blah blah." And then something else crazy happens, and Celti's like, "Ah, oh my god, this happened." He's like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, okay, fine. People hold stuff back together. It happened like 3-4 times. I'm like, okay, I'm getting mad now. I'm like, he's just omitting everything. I'm like, how much do you know? Because a lot of this stuff you may need to hide, but I'm like, at least tell Celti or something. She's like suffered because of all this stuff.
I mean, I don't know. One thing. Celti, she freaks out over a lot of things. And I'm like, but see, here's the cool thing. Usually that personality irritates the hell out of me. I'm like, okay, you got to stop freaking out over every little thing. It's not that big of a deal. But in her case, I don't know what it is, but in her case, I'm like, I actually I'm okay with this. Yeah. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. I'm actually okay with this. But then again, it's like, some things I think he holds back because he is worried that his relationship with her will start becoming on a faulty ground because she'll, so it's not necessarily the greatest thing in the world, but then again, I'm like, I honestly, and this is a first for me, I really want their relationship to work out. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, if they don't like get together and are like permanently together at the end of this, I'm going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
Because God.
So, did you see? So, one thing I noticed that the epic punch was in episode 3, I think, in the first season. There was another punch, but it wasn't as epic as it was in the first season. Do you remember?
In the second season?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, what are you talking about? Like when he punched that the monster-looking dude all the way up in the air?
No. So somebody else did a punch that was just out of place. Like I wasn't really, because it's like I don't know with the bartender dude, he gets pissed off if you punch somebody and you see something that you like never seen before. So that was like hilarious. So I started laughing and I almost fell off the couch. This time, what was it? Those two people that were in the into a lot of comics and anime and stuff like that, and they all ride in that van with the other two guys.
Yeah.
They were arguing about tsunderes or something like that, and it goes from one scene. I think the Yakuza was talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden she's like, "What?" Like,
I know there was a lot going on in there, so I mean, I might have missed that one, but I probably saw it, but
I had to pause it and walk away for a second because it was out of place. I'm like, because it's a regular person. I'm like,
yeah.
For her to punch him that hard was just, I don't know, that was funny.
Hey, you know, when you get that angry, I mean, you get that adrenaline going, man, you could just lay the smack down. That's for sure.
And then they're like, no, this person's like this kind of tsundere, and this person's like that. And I'm like, y'all are arguing about characters. You punch him that hard. Oh my god, it's funny.
Oh, come on. You know that's their personality.
Yeah.
They will argue about the stupidest little things about that, so.
The dude so out of those, that group of people, the dude that's, he's not the driver, Karuta or something like that. I like him.
As soon as you mentioned not the driver, I'm like, okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I like him. Oh, he's like an older brother type character. He is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like him. And the driver dude, with the driver dude, they linked something from way back in the first episode, in the first season. They said something about a concert that he had went to, and like he was crying. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then one of the new characters, I guess one of the characters that plays a much bigger role, was somebody who was doing the concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was watching, I'm like, oh my god, they brought that back and turned that into a character.
I mean, come on, you got to figure, in Durarara, they make it a point. Everything is connected in some way, shape, or form. This is the biggest. This is all one big circle anime that I have ever seen. Everything has its connecting points, and I'm like, I don't know how y'all keep doing it, but y'all keep doing it, and I really don't get it. But okay, it's still awesome either way.
Yes, I love how every single episode is like a knot, and like some of the strings of the knot are like coming from different episodes, and then the whole show is just a big knot, and I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
One thing about the twins, they're trying to be like their brother, and I feel like
they're trying to be like their brother, but they ain't ever gonna be like their brother.
No, the way they did that,
they're the comedy version of their brother. That's what they are.
I think the last episode that I watched, where they were trying to do something with Celty, and I was like, why did y'all go all they?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. They went this huge roundabout process to try to get with Celty, and it's like, oh Jesus.
I thought I was worried about like somebody meeting somebody that shouldn't be meeting somebody, but then they're like, no, we're not gonna cause what you think gonna happen. We're gonna go way around this way and be the cause of the whole. I was like, what?
Yeah. See, at least you know they throw you for a loop.
Yes, I'm glad they're not doing what I expect. So yeah, this show is sliding up to be my favorite again.
Oh yeah, so. Absolutely.
Okay, so so good. Well, the next show that I watched some of, but you're current on is Death Parade. Yeah.
This is one hell of a roller coaster.
Yeah. After the first two episodes, like first, you gotta watch Death Billiards, and that was I think it was the Anime Mirai thing, and that was one of the winners. So they took that show and made it into a series, and the first episode followed the same formula, and I think the second episode flipped that, and then the third episode
the second episode is like kind of like a recap told in a different perspective, essentially.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna show the same episode, but now we're gonna show it in this person's perspective that has nothing to do with what's going on. They're just viewing what's going on.
Yeah. And
so
then I think the third episode followed the same formula as the first.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that they were going to repeat it, but then episode 4, which just went that way. So
it's very. This whole series is very interesting to me, and the fact that it's taking a lot of morality and decisions, and you don't always see it. Morality in its own sense is like very subjective. Mm-hmm. You know, what one person, someone else might not think is bad. Mm-hmm. And I like those kinds of animes and those kinds of media that look at that and they just kind of, they tease you around with that. And they make you think and they make you want to know, you know, would I have made that same decision? Was that a good decision? Was that a bad decision? Stuff like that. So, I mean, it's really just up in the air a lot of the time.
Yeah. A lot of the stories that they put into this are kind of bits and pieces of show. A lot of situations that I see in J-drama back when I used to watch it a couple years ago. So I don't know. It kind of brings back that feeling of like stories that are real, like people who are real. And I mean,
these are real issues, real problems, I mean, a lot of realism put into it, but with that sense of mysticism with the games that they're doing and everything.
Yeah. And
I like how they're actual games, but they're games with the twist. Kind of like in No Game, No Life. How they could be games, but you'd always, you know, there's different games, different ways of doing it, and there's always like a little twist to it or something.
Yeah.
So I like that.
What was it? One thing. Every time they bring out the game, it's like,
yeah.
I'm like, every time.
I mean, to me, I'd have been like, if that had been me, if I'd have been one of the two dead people or whatever, I'd have looked at it and went, okay, something about this is really not right. I'm questioning everything now.
Oh, man. I don't know if I like the new guy. The guy from episode 6. They switched.
Are you talking about the red-haired?
Yeah. Because he didn't even tell everybody the rules. Well, I guess
he's kind of...
Like, he explained it once to the guy, and then for the girl, he's like, yeah, just do this. I'm like, yeah. and we it's like we were following the girl, so all we get is like basically half-ass explanations for the situation, even though we already know the rules because they're basically the same as what they were saying. But it's like,
well, yeah,
I don't know. It's like following.
I do like the fact that they do kind of skip over that a little bit because it's like after the third or fourth time, we're like, okay, we get it. We know what the rules are. Can we skip this? You know?
Yeah.
But I like how they'll cut to the usual reactions, which is once they get told the rules, they're like, well, screw this. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, I like how they skip to that. They don't even have to explain it. They just go, he just goes, I'm going to explain to you the rules. And then next thing you know, they're like, where's the exit? Where's the exit? You know? You're like, okay. We know what happened there. We know what you probably decided. You're like, no, screw that. But I like the use that, you know, each of them have their own unique powers and style and everything. You know, no two arbiters are like the same.
Yeah.
They all have their own way of doing things.
So the game that they played in episode 6 with I think it was the pop star and the fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when the little simple showed up, and I'm like, that looks like a snowflake, and then I'm like, I think that's wind, and then I can't remember the other. I'm like, when those things activated, I was like, oh no. And then you think they're gonna get burnt up, but then it switches, and then I'm like, oh, okay. It's gonna be like I don't know. It's like you think it's gonna be one thing, and then they just turn it way up.
Like, oh yeah.
I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, it's just like they said. I mean, they want to put everyone in an extreme situation to push them to their absolute limits and see what they'll do. And, on the one hand, the girl is right because she makes a comment. I don't remember which episode, but she makes a comment of it's unfair because people will act a certain way in any given situation. And that's almost right, but not quite. Because there'll still be variety and you'll still have people who will probably be the better person even given in those situations.
Yeah, like the one, like the mother to be. I think it was like episode 1. Yeah, I was like, no.
But what was it? Did she go down? Did she go?
I think she went down. Yeah, I think she went in the void.
Ah.
Because she the bartender thought that she was telling the truth.
I hope they managed to correct because I thought that was wrong. I'm like,
yeah,
I knew exactly what was coming on. I'm like, the minute she started that, I'm like, all right, I already see she's just trying to spare him on this. I already see that. So I'm hoping they managed to correct that somehow because I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
He should have gone into the void because he was just freaking ugly. She should have been resurrected.
Yes.
Or reincarnated or whatever.
Mm-hmm. There was one with the guy and like the reality show mom or something like that.
Yeah. It's the kid and the reality show mom.
Oh, that was a good episode. Like,
oh yeah.
I think the third round, or the last round when they were playing, and then you think it's going one way, and then it switches. And then all of a sudden, it's just banging against the screen. And I'm like, is he doing? And then they flip it. And I'm like, I don't know. I love that twist. I was like, I was not expecting that at all.
No. But you know what? I don't know. I kind of had an inkling of it because she definitely seemed very, I'm like, you're kind of you're just not right. And then when all of a sudden she started doing stuff like that, I'm like, oh yeah, no, you're really not right. Yeah. You're so not right. Yeah. You need to go away.
That episode reminded me of the first episode.
Yeah.
Because they went to the extreme in not the first episode, the Death Billiards. Because they went to the extreme in that one. And I don't know, that because that episode, because Death Billiard was so intense, I really wanted to see the series. So they toned it out a bit within that episode. I'm like, wow, that is great. So
I don't know. I don't know. There again, like I said, it's a roller coaster. It's got those, calm dump moments, and then all of a sudden you start just going off, and it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait for the rest. Got 6 more episodes of this.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be one of those that I'm like, I'm gonna be disappointed when it finally ends.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, bring it back.
It was so good.
I want more.
Here's some more games they can do.
Yeah, please do something. I don't even care. It's just cool. I want to know about the god dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he says he's the closest thing to a god, and I'm like, well, then what are you? Are you a god? Or are you not a god? Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that they were playing pool with the planets.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I want to have a pool table like that now. That looks so cool. I want to do that. Please.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so much in this. I'm like, y'all have created a good world. I just hope they can follow through with it and just start explaining and delving deeper into it. I want to see this stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, where would this thing be going?
It's hard to say. Well, I mean, the high point, the bulletin point has to be the fact that she created an arbiter with feelings, which is supposed to be a taboo. So there's something that's going to happen with that.
Yeah, because of the girl. Okay.
There's something that's going to happen with that. And I don't know. It looks like maybe he's going to start having some feels for her or something. I at least know that she surprises him every now and then.
Yeah.
Because he gets that look on his face when she does something that it's hard to tell whether or not he's like getting feelings for her or if he's just like surprised by what she is able to do or comprehend.
Like, does not compute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. He really is, you know, just like the rest, pretty much a blank slate. So hard to say. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to my next one. Assassination Classroom.
Yes.
Because, good Lord, this has been fun. And now, this is one, I have to say, a long time ago, I got told this. There are no new stories. There are just variations of the same stories.
Yes.
And this is a good example of that in motion. Because it's a good story, good anime all around. But when you break it down and you get to the nitty-gritty of it, basically this story is of the outcasts who become better. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the basic sense, it's pretty much what it is. Slowly but surely, as the more I watch this, I'm like, these people that have been told that they are the bottom of the barrel, the worst of the worst, that there is no hope for them, and they keep getting pushed down and down further and further, are becoming better. Yeah. And they're becoming better than those, you know, those who are being told that they're better than them. So I'm like, that's the basic story. Then they do all this other crazy stuff going on through here. So, and God damn it, if I don't love that teacher, because good Lord, he is so much fun.
Yes.
I'm like, you are awesome.
Last episode that I saw, they brought in a female, was the English teacher? Or
yeah, she's supposed to be the language. Yeah, English teacher.
Oh. She's like, everybody out of my way. I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
It was such a good episode. This show was
so
like for.
You have you seen the episode when the red-haired kid came in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was right before that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was trying to remember what the order was. I remember if it was before that or after that. But yeah. See, even that, I love that because every time he tried to do something to piss off the teacher, he would make him look pretty or something. You know, he would beautify him or something. I'm like, he's been told you cannot hurt these students. You cannot harm them in any way. And he agreed to that, but he's doing so many other things that I'm like, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, you're pissing them off just as much as they're pissing you off. So good job. Good job.
Yeah. So, yeah. At the beginning, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this, but when the red-haired kid came in, I'm like, okay, I got something. And then the next episode, the girl came in, and I'm basically like, when she came in, just all cocky and everything. It's like, I'm gonna do it this way, blah blah blah. And I'm like, it's not gonna work. I'm like one of the students in the class. I'm like, no, you don't. We need to tell you stuff first. So.
And I like the main character, the main kid that you're kind of following throughout it, who's kind of telling the story in a way. I like him too.
Blue pigtails.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, in all honesty, yes, that's a guy.
Okay.
I had a hard time doing that too, but it is a guy. It took me a long time to figure that one out, but I'm like, okay. I think it was like episode 2 or 3. I kept looking at it and I'm going, girl or guy, girl or guy, girl or guy. And then something tipped me off that way, and I'm like, okay, you're a guy. I'm putting you in that classification now. You're a guy. But yeah, even him, I'm liking him just because he's like, I mean, he's kind of the main person and the one. I always love his little notes that he jots down every time he sees something that the teacher does that is like a weakness or something. He's always keeping track of all those things, and I'm like, sometimes they're just little funny things, but at the same time, they're always something that's, important or humorous. So it's always cool to me.
Okay. Yeah. I think my favorite character so far is the redhead guy, but he only played a big part in that one episode, and then he kind of faded away. Or at least
I
some.
mean, he still kind of makes his appearance in like bits and pieces here and there.
Okay.
The one where I'm at right now, they go on a school field trip, and he's definitely a big part of that.
Okay. All right. I think I'm a couple episodes behind. I'm gonna catch up on that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. The next show. Again, I haven't watched much of, but Jason's been keeping up. It's Tokyo Ghoul. I don't know, is that the fight was over and everybody was leaving and people split up and I don't know what's happening. I left. I don't know. It's like it's a good. I always do this. It's like a really good show, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm gonna go do something completely different for like a couple months, and then I'm gonna come back. So I don't know why that keeps happening, but it's like as soon as something good happens, I just accidentally drop it.
I'm torn. I'm torn with Tokyo Ghoul. I really am, because on the one hand, in the very beginning, the main character in Tokyo Ghoul reminded me a lot of Hellsing and Ceres Victoria. Because, like, it's a pretty apt similarity, because here you have this person who was once human, who has now been turned into something that isn't human, and they have to come to terms with that. And the same feeling that she had is the same feeling that he had. Where they're like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to refuse it. I'm going to fight it. I'm not going to do it. So that was there. But then at a certain point in Hellsing, Ceres accepts it. She's like, screw it. We're going to do it. We're going to go all the way. And she turns into a badass. And I'm like, awesome. I love that. You just went all out. I love when characters just go all out and just let loose and have fun with it. I love it. At the end of the first season, he does a lot of the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, awesome. You rock. I love that. And it kind of started carrying its way into the second season where he's doing a lot of that same thing too. And I'm like, you're a badass. Awesome. Good going. I like you. Now, the more I've gotten into it, he's gone from being Ceres to now being Naruto. And I'm like, I don't like you nearly as much as I used to anymore. Not to say that that isn't necessarily a bad thing, because, there's still some good points I like about Naruto, but it's like, you can't just flip around like that. You can't go from being the, I'm going to, beat the ever-living crap out of everything and it gets in my way, to now being the, oh, woe is me. And I'm like, really? You were so cool, like, 2 or 3 episodes ago. Why are you, like, not as cool now? I don't know.
Do you know if this one's going to end in, like, a month?
I think so. Don't quote me on that, but I think so.
Okay. Because I'm like, if they were... I don't think.
I know it's only... I think it's only supposed to be 12 episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So, like, with the loose ends that I can think of that I have in my head, I guess if they don't solve some of them until when he hits his cooldown period, I guess. I don't know.
Well, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to be able to actually, like, finish the whole thing unless they do some crazy anime super duper wrap up ending kind of thing that they've done from time to time with these things. But I mean, I can see them going another season for it easily.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because there's like a lot of crap going on. But I mean, who knows?
Okay.
We all know how these things go along.
Okay. I'll probably catch up on that in the end of the season then. Because I thought a bunch of crazy stuff was gonna happen, but I don't know. I guess I'll hold it off for a second.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of just crazy stuff, but I don't know. His character, I'm really torn on. I'm like, on the one hand, I like him. On the other hand, I don't like him so much. So.
Okay. One show that I am kind of caught up on. I've actually watched a few episodes of is Kuroko's basketball. So with this one, I am liking where it's going. Last month I was mad. They introduced the character, and I did not like him. He was basically just like messing up the groups, just messing with everybody, and I don't know. Everybody's like, let's get ready for the game, and then he comes in and just screws stuff, and then it's like, oh, he's in the game too. So I'm like, I'm already pissed at this dude and like messed up the downtime, and then we get to the game, and there he is again. I'm like, ah, and then he has some special power that's like messing with everybody, and I'm like, no. So, then something cool happens, and they fix it, and then the game was over, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy again, and now, now I'm waiting for, then I guess, I don't know, I'm waiting for a chunk of episodes to go, so I can actually get through a game, instead of like, the episode ending like 2 minutes ago, and I'm like, no! But
yeah, but that's hard to do.
So, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get back to it by the end of this season because there's a few other shows that I want to catch up on. But I like the beginning of the season for the season 2. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Alrighty. Well, just to let everyone know, I did happen to check out Shinmai Maou no Testament just to see what that was about. Because don't ever say that I don't at least try. I don't ever judge anything until I at least try. And I'm gonna say this. Just like Big D over there said. It has a really cool story. This story is really, really cool. Then you get to the ecchi moments that are like, I seriously had to stop and went, am I still watching an anime or did we switch to hentai here? I mean, because you just go way the hell out there. I mean, I've seen some moments, but God damn, that's some moments. I
dropped it on episode 4 or 5. There was a scene where he busts in on the girl, and then like instead of her screaming, he like covers her mouth and like, "Don't, calm down. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this." Blah blah blah. And then like they get all tangled up into some weird position. I'm like, okay, I wasn't. That was different. I didn't expect him to like stop her from screaming. And then when he did, I thought she was gonna kick him in the balls, but I can't remember if that happened. I can't remember if that happened or not. And then
no, I think she calmed down.
Okay, and then they got all tangled up, and I'm like, okay, well, I was expecting that part. So I'm like, okay, so that was it was like what I was expecting. It's something different. Then it missed what I was expecting, so I'm like, okay, cool. And then it ended up where I thought it was gonna end up. So I'm like, okay. Well. I'm like even with that. I'm like, yes, no. Okay, whatever. Then, episode 5, they repeat that same thing. He busts in there on her again, and she's like, ah! And he's like, no, shh. And then they get just, and I'm like,
you know, okay. To be fair with this series, you can't have a demon and especially a succubus as a character and not expect that some things are gonna happen. Now I'll say this. There's another one going on right now, Junketsu no Mirai. They have a succubus in that one as well. But at least with them, the succubus is like, they're ecchi. They do have it. It's still there. But it's way more underplayed, and a lot of it is just innuendos that you kind of have to figure out. Mm-hmm. That you're like, you think about it for like half a second, and you're like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's dirty, but okay, we're moving on now. You know, so it's there. If anyone would like to know the difference in what we are talking about here, there is a prime example. You watch Testament, and then watch Taizai. Or that's Taizai. Maria. There we go. Watch Testament and watch Maria, because if you do, you'll see there are two animes that have succubus characters in it, but one obviously does a better job with it than the other. Because they didn't need to have her have the whole, she's going to get cursed, and every time she feels like he's betraying her for whatever reason, she's going to be like super horny or whatever and has to like get off. Because like that went way out there. I'm like, because the minute they explained that was the way the curse worked, I'm like, okay, that's going to be overused a lot. And sure enough, it's overused a lot. Because I'm like, okay, you have a girl that's way young out there with a guy who she obviously has feelings for. So anytime she's going to be with another woman, which there's obviously more women around him, that's going to happen. Or he's going to go somewhere, and that's going to happen. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Can we stop this, please? Can we just get back to the cool story that you have? I want to see that. And I was good. I watched all of it straight through. But this last episode, I mean, I'm going to continue it. I'm bound and determined. I'm going to continue this. It will happen. But I can't guarantee now that I'm not going to skip some parts, because that last episode I watched, I'm like, okay, can we just skip this? Skip. Okay, now we're back to the story. There we go. Very good. Yay. I don't need to watch that.
I felt like I was going to be like that with, was it Trinity 7? And this show makes Trinity 7 look so good. Oh my God.
So tame in comparison.
If they come back for a second season, I'm definitely watching that, because I can't.
For Trinity 7?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I had to.
You know what? I mean, I can guarantee you, it seems like Testament's probably going to get another season. I'm going to call it right now. Testament will get a second season. And you know why I say that, too? Because we know another one that's almost exactly in that same sort of fashion that got multiple seasons. We know it very well, don't we? Which anime would that be?
Is that High School DxD?
No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
Okay, because I'm like, they're coming out with another one next season, I think.
One that's over the top ecchi that has had multiple seasons already.
Oh! Wait. Queen's Blade?
There you go!
Oh my God!
Yeah, there you go.
I completely forgot about that show.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to remind you about that. I watched the first episode of that, and I'm like, no.
I watched 4.
Oh, wow, you did better than me on that one.
I really wanted to find out what was going to happen to the main character. And then I think there was some character where her bikini bottom part was a snake or something. So it's like a snake like wrapped in between her legs and stuff like that.
Oh, God.
And then she like captured the main character and like kept her prisoner or something. And I'm just like, I can't do it anymore.
I mean, when the bunny came out for me in the first episode, I'm like, really? We're going to have like ooze shooting? No, I can't even describe it. But then it made it worse it's like, I'm like, okay, hopefully this just kind of goes away and we can just move on and forget about it. And the next thing I know, second season, third season. I think they even had a fourth season. I'm like, Jesus, why? Why?
I know somebody who loves that show, and if I tell him there's a new season, he'll be like, yes.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, I couldn't. I can't. So.
I will marshal through this one, if only because, goddamn, is it just nice with the story? I want to know what happens. He has a cool power. There's a whole lot going on in other ways, but every time, like just this last episode, they showed like the current demon lord, and he's like planning something, and like his final words were something similar, like they'll never know the amount of pain and pleasure I shall put them through. And I'm like, oh God, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Please. You're going to kill me. You're going to kill me. I know it. Anyways.
So I guess moving on for the extreme and ecchi to something kind of boring. I have been catching up on How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend. I still love this show. It's kind of like Shirobako, where that show takes place inside of an anime production company, and you get to see the ins and outs of how things get done, how they have people who work. It's kind of like freelance animators where they work for multiple companies sometimes, or they just work for the one company, but they never actually go to the office. Like, they stay at home and just work on stuff, and then they have somebody who comes and drops off new scenes and picks up old scenes that they finished. And I never really knew that I don't know. I didn't really know that was kind of the thing that really happens. So,
well, I mean, you like to hope that's the thing that happens. I mean, you never really know. I mean, they'll have elements of actual reality in it, so it's hard to say sometimes.
Yeah, and so I really like Shirobako. I need to I think a whole nother season is gone since I left that show. So I like those kind of, you get to see what the industry's like from the inside. I think there was another show that was about manga, and I like that one because they're kind of explaining the whole industry. But this one is like kind of like freelancers getting together and creating their own, like, one guy who wants to create a game, so he gets a couple of people who are freelance artists and like gets them together and to make something. Because I kind of feel like it's something that I want to try to do. It's like, I want to start making stuff, so I'm trying to find people who have like interests or free time and talent and stuff like that, and then get them together. So I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like what I'm trying to do. So I like the show because the characters. I love the characters of the show. I don't know. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but like, I love how they play off each other. Because I said that so much last time, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, that is always important in any good anime, regardless. You know, to me, that's, and I know probably in my top 5 video, that's something I repeated a lot too, was just characters. You have to have interesting characters. You can't just lead, you know, even if there's one boring character, that can bring an anime down so much. And then they do have to play well with each other. They do have to have this dynamic that they can do, whether it's they actually work well together or if they don't work well together, and that's their dynamic, you know. But you still got to have that.
Yeah.
So I completely understand that. And that was one of the things I mentioned about reality shows in general, where is like, you know, those slice of life reality type shows, if you don't have good characterization with that, it kills it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of our favorite animes that are kind of a slice of life, Working. I mean, that in and itself. I know. But I mean, even then, that is what, a completely, the premise of it is completely mundane.
Yes.
Nothing interesting about it whatsoever. But it's the characters that make it good.
Yes.
So, but there again, that's a slice of life anime. If you don't got the characters, you ain't gonna have a good one.
Yeah.
So, I completely agree with that.
So, yeah, I highly recommend that show.
Well, for me, I have Nanatsu no Taizai, Seven Deadly Sins. I'm still watching that one. I'm not sure if it's like maybe the place I'm watching from is not caught up all the way with it or not, but either way, it's still going for me. So I think I'm like episode 16 or 17, something like that. And good lord, this. I think I like this one so much. There again, like you were saying with the characters, but it almost takes me back because the characters are so over the top and so powerful. It almost takes me back to my DBZ time frame. Where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what they do. They're going to do something cool. I know it. Watch, here it comes. I mean, there was a fight. And this is definitely not going to spoil anything for anyone. There was a fight that ended up happening. And see, this is why it reminds me of DBZ, because two of the characters in their group, they were in a contest. Go figure. They were in a contest, and they had to fight each other. And we're just like, even the other characters in their group saw this coming. They're like, oh, hell. This is not good. And it was almost like a Goku and Vegeta fight. Because they literally almost destroyed the entire ring with their fight. And they were just having fun. They weren't even really being serious with each other. I'm like, this is cool.
Wow.
I mean, the entire time they're beating the ever-living crap out of each other. And they're like laughing and smiling with it. You know? It's like, really?
Nice.
And the end of it results in one of them getting punched so hard out of the ring, he goes flying and hits the side of a mountain with an impact that leaves a dent in the mountain.
Wow.
And I'm like, and then he comes up later, later on, he's just like, that was pretty good. And we're just like, really? He's like, not bad. That was pretty good. So, I mean, yeah, characters with good characterization, like you were saying before, and powers that are just so over the top. You're just like, this is just all sorts of fun. This is definitely one of those animes that you can tell that they had a lot of fun making, because it's just all sorts of fun.
Okay. Cool. I got another show I gotta watch. Maybe I'll be like, I don't know.
Hey, if you catch up on it now, you won't have to worry about it later.
I know. Just like with Durarara.
Don't let it. Yeah, I was about to say, don't let it be another Durarara.
Spent a whole week catching it. Oh, it was worth it.
Oh yeah. And this one actually comes from a manga too. So this is one of those few ones I'm actually interested to see the manga potentially for, depending upon where they end it here in the series. Because I'm like, I think it's only actually supposed to be 24 eps, and like they're already on 17 now, so they're about to be. So I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna end this, but I'm curious if it doesn't end quite well. I might pick up the manga to see how that works.
Okay. Cool. Well, I guess this will be it for our March catch-up. And we will be back.
Ketchup. I still have a bad mental image for that. Tacos with ketchup on it. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Well, we will be back in April with our preseason lineup, postseason favorites. And hopefully we can get one of our buddies to join us this time. So we can get a little more interaction back and forth.
Oh yeah.
So,
not like I don't interject over Big D over there enough. We'll have someone else do that too.
Yeah.
And make fun of the fact that he doesn't watch as much anime.
Oh my god. Oh! Ha! That's where some of my time went too. I finished a freaking My Anime List.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes. I spent 1 week doing My Anime List, and I did 1 week doing Durarara. And then the other 2 weeks I spent on the other few shows I was catching up on. So this month I don't have 2 gigantic tasks to do, so I should be able to catch up on everything.
That is, of course, if you don't try to catch up on Nanatsu no Sai.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, you still finished your anime list, and I'm still beating you in time frame.
Yeah. I watched a lot of short shows.
I still have more days watched. Yeah, you did. I got the big ones.
Yeah.
I got the big load here.
So, I know.
You the weakling.
So, that'll be it for today, and we will be back. You can connect with us on Twitter and Facebook and My Anime List at TacoYaki Anime at Twitter and Facebook, and then on My Anime List is Big D TacoYaki, and for Shade, it's sh_d6.
You remembered.
But
I've seen some people trolling there too, so I've seen some views.
Okay.
I've seen some people saying some stuff, or not saying anything. They're just looking at it. So.
Okay. All right. We will see y'all next month. See ya.
Later.